Welcome to Garden Life TV. I'm Tiger Palafox, and we came here to Green Thumb Nursery to talk to my friend Scott about growing citrus trees. How's it going, buddy?
Great, yourself?
Doing really well.
Awesome.
So we came out here to the citrus trees at your nursery to tell people how to grow them. So what are the top 2 things that people need to consider when they're growing a citrus tree?
Top 2 things to consider while growing a citrus tree is the proper amount of sun and the proper amount of water.
So when you talk about the proper amount of sun, what do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is to get full sun. You want nice, bright sun, and when you get watering, you want to make sure that it's completely full, like deep soak, and then let it dry out completely, and then water it fully again to get all the way down to the roots, dry out, and repeat that process every 1 to 2 weeks.
Excellent, excellent. Now something else people need to consider is the proper feeding cycles. So citrus trees have different ripening times. So you have to understand that some ripen in the fall, some ripen in the spring. You want to know that when you're feeding them. The other thing is that citrus trees don't like it when it's cold. And if you try to force feed them during the wintertime and produce foliage, that tender new growth that they have is the part that's affected most by a frost. So if you're in an area that gets frost, you want to stop feeding, probably starting around the month of October, and then begin feeding again, maybe sometime in March. And then that way you can prevent that frostbitten tree. So Scott, you had mentioned that they need full sun, and sometimes people don't always have the ability to plant it in full sun, but citrus trees can be grown in a pot, right?
Correct. The citrus series that you can grow in a pot, we want to use a semi-dwarf citrus tree.
Yeah, and the semi-dwarf is because you don't want to get too big where it grows outside the pot. What size pot would you recommend?
Best size pot is anything that can fit over a bigger size 15-gallon, or even a whiskey barrel is probably the perfect is what you want to use.
All right, excellent. And would you recommend a specific soil? Is there a citrus growing mix possibly that people can plant into?
Citrus mix that we have, cactus mix does great because it allows perfect drainage for that water.
So you don't want to use just basic potting soil. You want to make sure to use either a citrus or a cactus mix whenever you're growing your citrus tree, right?
That's correct.
All right, Scott. Well, thank you very much for sharing your citrus trees with us. And hopefully everybody at home learned something. So we'll see you all next time, huh?